You didn't miss these movies by accident. They were never meant to be mainstream. These are the kind of stories that don't follow the usual formula. Older woman, younger man, filled with bold choices, real emotions, and moments that feel a little too intense to ignore. From unexpected connections to relationships that slowly pull you in, every film on this list has that addictive tension that keeps you watching till the end. If you're scrolling through Netflix not knowing what to watch, this is exactly where you should start. Let's dive into the top 10 older woman, younger man relationship movies on Netflix. Number 1. Lonely Planet, 2024. At first glance, Lonely Planet appears to be a standard travelogue romance, but it quickly reveals itself as a mature study of intellectual companionship. Laura Dern portrays Catherine Lowy, a novelist who has retreated to a prestigious writer's workshop in Morocco to salvage a crumbling manuscript and a fractured sense of self. The film avoids the cougar stereotypes that plagued 90s cinema. Instead, it focuses on the accidental chemistry between Catherine and Owen, Liam Hemsworth, a man significantly younger who is struggling with his own professional and romantic stagnation. The age gap is treated not as a central conflict, but as a lens through which they view their different stages of life. One looking back at a career of high-stakes accomplishment, the other looking forward at an uncertain future. Number 2. Vladimir, 2026. As a standout Netflix original for 2026, Vladimir takes the older woman, younger man trope and plunges it into the world of dark academia. Rachel Weisz plays a celebrated professor whose orderly, prestigious life is disrupted by the arrival of a young, magnetic novelist. The film is a masterclass in tension. It investigates the intoxicating nature of being the muse, while simultaneously holding the power of professional mentorship. Unlike traditional romances, Vladimir is comfortable with the discomfort of its premise. It asks whether a relationship can truly be equal when one partner possesses the institutional power that the other desperately seeks. The chemistry is sharp, verbal, and intellectually aggressive. Number 3. May-December, 2023. Todd Haynes' May-December is perhaps the most critically acclaimed exploration of this theme in recent years. It presents a fictionalized version of a tabloid scandal, decades after it occurred. Julianne Moore plays Gracie, who began a relationship with Joe when she was in her late 30s and he was in middle school. The film is brilliant because it refuses to romanticize the bond. Instead, it looks at the long-term psychological fallout of a relationship that began under morally dubious circumstances. As Joe enters his 30s, he begins to realize that he missed his own adolescence, while Gracie remains trapped in a performative version of domestic bliss. It is a haunting, campy, and deeply tragic look at how an age gap can sometimes be a wall rather than a bridge. Number 4. Adore, 2013. Also known as Two Mothers, this film is one of the more provocative entries in the Netflix library. Set in a secluded Australian coastal town, it follows two lifelong friends who find themselves in overlapping affairs with each other's teenage sons. The film's strength lies in its isolation. Away from the judgment of society, the characters create a private, sun-drenched world where their actions seem logical, even beautiful. However, the outside world eventually intrudes. Adore is a visually stunning exploration of the boundaries of friendship and the desperate desire to cling to youth through the eyes of the next generation. Number 5. Queen of Hearts, 2019. For those seeking a gritty, uncompromising look at the darker side of these dynamics, Queen of Hearts is essential viewing. This Danish thriller follows Anne, a lawyer who works with victims of abuse who initiates an affair with her teenage stepson. The film serves as a chilling deconstruction of the older woman archetype. Anne is not a victim of her emotions. She is a powerful woman who uses her position, her intelligence, and her sexuality to manipulate a younger, more vulnerable man. It is a difficult watch that challenges the audience to confront their own biases regarding gender and predatory behavior. 6. The Graduate, 1967. While it often rotates in and out of the classics section on Netflix, The Graduate remains the blueprint for the genre. Anne Bancroft's portrayal of Mrs. Robinson is iconic not because she is a villain, but because she is a woman of immense intelligence who has been bored into a state of predatory nihilism. Benjamin Braddock, the recent college graduate, is her perfect target because he is equally disillusioned with the plastic world of his parents. Their affair is less about love and more about a mutual rebellion against the suffocating expectations of the 1960s suburban elite. The film's final act remains one of the most debated endings in cinematic history. 7. All That Heaven Allows, 1955. This Douglas Sirk masterpiece is a vibrant Technicolor critique of social conformity. Jane Wyman plays Carrie Scott, a wealthy widow who falls for Ron Kirby, Rock Hudson, her much younger, nature-loving gardener. The conflict in this film isn't between the lovers, but between Carrie and her social circle. Her children and her friends are horrified by the match, not because of Ron's character, but because of his age and social standing. It is a heartbreaking look at how society attempts to police the desires of older women, treating their search for happiness as a betrayal of their dignity. 8. Lust, Caution, 2007. Ang Lee's espionage thriller is a high-stakes game of cat and mouse set in World War II-era Shanghai. While the age gap is significant, the relationship is complicated by the fact that the younger woman is an undercover agent tasked with seducing an older collaborator. The film is famous for its explicit and intense chemistry, which reflects the desperation and danger of the era. It explores how physical intimacy can become a weapon of war, and how the lines between a mission and genuine obsession can become dangerously blurred. 9. Harold and Maude, 1971. Perhaps the most beloved, unconventional romance ever filmed. Harold is a 20-year-old obsessed with staged suicides. Maude is a 79-year-old who sees the beauty in every living thing. Their relationship is a pure, platonic, turning romantic bond that transcends the physical. Maude teaches Harold how to live, while Harold gives Maude a final, beautiful chapter in a life lived to the fullest. It is a radical film that argues age is entirely irrelevant when two souls operate on the same frequency. 10. Cruel Intentions, 1999. A modern-day reimagining of Les Liaisons Dangereuses, this film captures the cynical, stylish energy of the late 90s. While it focuses on teens, the central figure of Catherine, Sarah Michelle Gellar, represents the older soul, a woman who has mastered the social games of her world and views the younger, more innocent characters as pawns. The film deals with the corruption of innocence and the way that experience can be used to dominate those who haven't yet learned the rules of the game. It remains a cult favorite for its soundtrack, its fashion, and its unapologetically sharp edges. The older woman, younger man genre is more than just a collection of romance movies. It is a battleground for gender politics. Historically, cinema has embraced the silver fox archetype, where an older man's age is seen as a sign of wisdom, wealth, and status. Conversely, older women have often been depicted as fading or desperate. The films on this list, particularly modern entries like Lonely Planet and Vladimir, reject those old narratives. They present women who are at the height of their intellectual and professional powers. Their attraction to younger men isn't a search for lost youth, but a search for a partner who isn't intimidated by their success or burdened by the same traditional expectations as men their own age. Whether it is through the lens of a thriller, a comedy, or a classic melodrama, these films continue to fascinate audiences by challenging the status quo and proving that the heart does not always follow a chronological map.